Paris was born in New York City in 1981 with a proverbial silver spoon in her mouth, provided by her great-grandfather and billionaire hotel magnate, Conrad Hilton. Growing up, she called places like the Waldorf Astoria, Beverly Hills, and the Hamptons home.
Paris grew up in a famous New York socialite family. She comes from the Hiltons. So she was never wanting for riches, but she wanted to be famous, and that was always her goal.
After high school, she began a modeling career, appearing on magazine covers like GQ and Vanity Fair. However, her hard-partying ways were becoming the stuff of legend.
You mention the word celebrity to a person, they're going to say Paris Hilton. It's just like that. I mean, it's just like Paris Hilton equals celebrity. Our modern notion of what a celebrity is. That is someone who is famous for being famous. Famous for doing nothing else. I mean, their job is to be famous.
The press became obsessed with every move the young socialite made.
When she was 16, maybe the rest of the country didn't know her yet, but in New York, she was already famous. She was on page 6, New York Post's famed gossip column, every single day. She was like, you know, dancing on tabletops and banquettes, going out to parties.
Paris seemed to live for the attention. But in 2003, she saw the flip side of her life in the spotlight. A sex tape featuring her and boyfriend Rick Solomon was leaked onto the internet. The video also found its way into DVD players across the country when the video One Night in Paris was released. Her fame, some would call it infamy, was at its peak in 2003. Even her dog Tinkerbell got a book deal. She also starred on the small screen with fellow celebrity for celebrity's sake, Nicole Richie, in The Simple Life on Fox. People tuned in by the millions every week to watch the two pampered socialites try to live the way normal people do. The show was a smash hit.
There's an escapism that comes with someone who's so flighty. She doesn't make me think about necessarily the financial crisis that's going on. I just want to have pink lipstick and run around with chihuahuas.
In 2006, she was arrested for suspicion of driving under the influence, for which she received probation. In 2007, she was arrested again for driving with a suspended license. And in May of 2007, she was sentenced to 45 days in jail. Never one to miss a good party, she showed up at the MTV Movie Awards the night after her sentencing. After serving only 3 full days in jail, she was released and allowed to serve the rest of her sentence at home due to unspecified health reasons. Due to public outrage that the spoiled celeb was receiving special treatment, she was ordered back to jail. It was bad news for Paris, but great news for the paparazzi, who covered every second of her tearful return to jail. After her jail time, Paris seemed to cut back on the hard partying and began settling down, concentrating on an acting career, starring in movies like 2008's The Hottie and the Naughty. Although she was making fewer headlines, she still grabbed attention, thanks to an ad by presidential candidate John McCain, who compared Barack Obama to Paris.
Paris had this funny response on funnyordie.com. Paris did this really hilarious mock campaign ad where she kind of made fun of her own ditziness. I think that was a real turning point for her, where people had kind of given up on her, but you know, they really loved that. It was a huge viral video hit on the internet. She's kind of making fun of her own celebrity, but she's kind of like winking at you at the same time.
Lover or hater, few people have been quite as famous for just being famous as Paris Hilton.